This week on PTL, we break down the battles of the unbeatens.
We put WildTurtle skills up against a 100-mile-per-hour fastball.
And we debut the newest product line from PTL. So bring it in, gentlemen, because PrimeTime League starts right now.
That is it! Rocket become the first team to take down Origen.
Unlimited potential, ending EDG's spree. They just beat the best team in the world.
Hey everyone, welcome to PrimeTime League. I am your host, Rivington Bislin III, along with my co-host, David Freak Shirley, who hopefully got his voice back after turning on Beast Mode in the North American LCS past week.
Yeah, no, I can't be silenced. No, my voice is indeed back. It's going to be great. And honestly, it's a whole bunch of fun to be here today. We're going to check out a whole lot of League of Legends excitement from around the world.
Yes, we are. And we are going to be heading over to the LCK to start things off, where SKT took on CJ Entus in the head-to-head battle of the LCK's only undefeated teams in the last week's BF Game of the Week.
So undefeated teams, Coco and Faker, two of the most dominant mid laners we've seen so far this split. And game one starts with Faker being not in the mid lane. He's going to go gank top, level 11 on Victor, and 2 kills with Bangy taking the turret.
Already has control. Even though he's getting pushed in the mid lane, he's always going to be grabbing stuff around the map, and he knows where to find it every time. Here going into Ambition, little edgy on the turret dive, but he knows his team is on his heels and would have given him safety anyways.
Yeah, a bit of an ambitious dive, but Faker gets so far ahead. He rushed the tier 2 enchantment, got a Lich Bane as well, so his Qs are just stupidly strong, and he just one-shots so many people around the map. You're seeing just highlight clips of Faker evaporating tanks the entire game long.
One more. Yeah, he's going to pick it up. Faker, playmaker coming through 22-9. You can see how much of a bloodbath this was. And CJ really not able to put up with SKT here. It looked like they were going to be the ones to be defeated.
Yeah, I mean, SKT are the dominant game one, and of course Faker, one of the best champions in the mid lane, Victor. He says, you know what, let's make it a little easier on you. Let's go for some mid lane. Master Yi gets a ton of help from his team and starts picking up kills.
Great roam from Wolf here to start setting things up. Yeah, Bangy goes down, but it meant Faker got started. And when Faker gets started, he doesn't stop.
Flash, one auto attack, turn away. Cool guys don't look at ignite kills, and Faker starting out wonderfully. And everyone just keeps showing up mid lane to get Faker just a bunch of more highlight reels.
This is the thing that gets me, is he just plays in his opponent's mind. They think they have the kill. Faker still knows he has the upper hand. 2v1, then a 3v1. Faker knows what he can do. Yeah, he goes down here, but he gets the better of the entire situation.
That's one of those worth it in all chat things. I love that he didn't dive Urgot at the very beginning, knowing he gets swapped under the turret and waited for the position to be better.
Absolutely.
Like, knows his laments very well. This one is actually, Faker's not even in this one. It just shows how far away SKT is ahead now.
Yeah.
He's split pushing top lane.
He's
Good job,
doing his
Faker.
own thing.
Doing Master Yi things. But that's going to be the game. And 2-0 for SKT cement themselves as obviously the best team in Korea.
Right now, they look too strong to be beat.
Yeah.
Kind of like that Worlds team we saw a little while ago.
Yeah, it's looking that way.
Used to be. During that completely dominant series, Faker channeled his inner mundo and just did what he pleased.
Sounds like Faker. And it was tough, of course, for CJ right from the start of game one, as Faker ended with a 19 KDA on Victor.
Yeah.
Then, as we saw, he pulled out Master Yi, did it all over again. And in this 11 games so far this split, he's played 9 different champions, including like Aurelia and Master Yi, stuff that's like completely new, really. His only losses on Oriana. Not exactly a bad champion, though.
Well, whatever he plays, Keno plays. So we get to see a few of those picks over in the LCS anyway.
Great.
It just goes to show you that Faker doesn't really live by the metagame rules. In fact, in a recent interview, he said that any champion can be viable in the mid lane.
저는 언제나 어떤 챔피언이라도 좀 미드에 사용할 수 있다고 생각하기 때문에 뭐 언제나 다른 픽을 사용할 수 있다고 생각해요.
Makes sense. I feel like Faker's that guy that you could put him in any car against like a Lamborghini and he's going to be better. you could go same cars and it could be the car you've always owned for your life, but he's just going to be better.
He'll beat you in a tricycle.
That's right.
He'll just pedal really hard. But that's like Faker. He's super confident, like in all of his interviews.
Exactly.
He's like, I've mastered every champion in the game. Have you really? But if he has, he has.
He knows that max capacity for every champion, and he shows it on the Rift. Korea is now 2 matches into their 5th week of the summer split, so let's take a look at the standings. SKT, of course, remains undefeated, now out to a 6-0 start.
And after sweeping CJ Entus this morning, Jin Air is right behind them at 5-2, with Najin EM Fire, KT Rolster, and the Coup Tigers rounding out the top 5.
And while SKT remains undefeated over in the European LCS, 2 more undefeated teams were headed into week 3 and looking to buff their win columns. The new Fnatic and some of the old Fnatic, aka Origen. First up was Fnatic, who had already taken down Elements before they faced the 4-1 Giants.
So here we go. Giants actually have to a pretty damn impressive start to their split, being 4-1. But Rainover and Huni, what duo would you expect from Fnatic? Great flash to prevent any further damage after the W stun, and then decides, yeah, it should be enough.
I feel like Huni always gets these plays. Just when you think you can take down the Huni, somebody else comes in to help him out. And once he gets going, Huni just keeps going. Just like we were saying about Faker. Can't wait for that matchup.
Yep, helps out. Febevin, Huni dives into Audrey, and I thought he was going to ult back here, but it's actually uncoded. He just runs to the right, and nothing even bad happens to him. Quick dash, quick slow. Thank you very much.
Easy time winder to get out. He knows. He gives the Huni holler there for a quick second, and a very good game so far. Here, able to engage right onto the tank, as you were saying. The cooldown Ekko coming into play here for Fnatic.
That was really nice. The double stun, and then he R'd back just for damage. He was not in danger of dying, but burst is nice. So full CDR goes for even more ability power. Squishy low cooldown Ekko worked really nicely in the top lane there.
Absolutely. Those 2 wins have put Fnatic out in front with a 6-0 start to the summer split, and that's just 1 win shy of their best start, which was in the spring of 2014 when they went 7-0, and it's dead even with their start last split.
And of course, they also had 2 5-1 split starts mixed in there. And don't forget that they hold the European LCS record for consecutive wins throughout a split, which is 9. They also came away as the split champions in every single split, other than that one last summer where Alliance beat them in the finals. So Fnatic still living up to that pedigree of best team in Europe.
That's right. So it looks like history could repeat itself this week, although Origen might have something to say about it.
So Fnatic did their job to set up a match of undefeated European teams. Now it was up to Origen, who had already topped Unicorns of Love. They're sitting at 5-0 into the 1-4 Rocket. But guess what Rocket has? Jankos, the First Blood King.
Ekko's the First Blood King, coming in big on this one. The Lee Sin plays really helping out the team and really helping out Woolite this game. He was going to start padding the stats throughout this one.
I can't believe that poor headbutt actually knocked him right into range of Amazing to get the second kill over. 8-3 in this one. Another great hook on a Mythy who ults slightly late, is so low that Ignite will actually take him down throughout this battle, giving more and more gold over to Woolite.
And this was really just a great game of control. You can see already 3 dragons to 1 right now. Woolite picking up another double kill. These guys are confident right now, and it shows in the play in this game.
Yeah, they are absolutely crushing, and it's a bunch of whole dive champions, right? Sivir plus a Nautilus plus a Lee Sin go and hit people. Soaz, unfortunately,
over the wall.
Ended Playful Trickster before the Nautilus will hit him, so still gets stunned. And it's just cleanup crew. I mean, Rocket, just tenacious, a lot of damage. Who needs tanks when you're this far ahead in gold? Crushing Origen in the back line.
7-1-10 Woolite as they make their way onto the Nexus and take it down. Taking down Origen and taking out that perfect record. It's very impressive that Origen kept their composure throughout the loss and even sent out this tweet after the game.
Yeah, they definitely do need to get back into training if they want to build up some more steam. And rest assured, we will track their progress and blow the whistle if we see any more mistakes.
That's right. As the teams now prepare for Week 4, here are the current standings of the European LCS. Fnatic continues their reign over Europe, riding on the shoulders of their 6-0 record.
Yeah, who needs a loss, really? Meanwhile, H2K and Origen are dueling for that second spot with only 1 loss. Giants Gaming is surprising everyone, looking to challenge with only 2.
And that brings us to our BF game of the week. Second place Origen versus first place Fnatic. And even though this is no longer a battle between the 2 undefeated teams in Europe, it remains a banner match between 2 of the top squads in the LCS. Plus, you can't deny the excitement that will hit the Rift as Peke and Soaz face their former teammates Reckless and Yellowstar. This BF game of the week will take place on Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central European Summertime. And now to help us shine a light on that match, let's bring in Effia Shaks de Portre to PrimeTime League. How's it going, Shaks?
Well, I'm a year older, but none the wiser, Rivington.
Indeed. Happy belated birthday. So before we talk about BF Game of the Week, you wanted to talk about Origen's loss to Rocket.
Yeah, definitely, because a lot of people actually, frankly, expected Origen to go into Week 4 undefeated 6-0, but they got a loss from Rocket, which is quite unexpected because Rocket had not been on a roll up to then. But the way Origen played was not very convincing. And to illustrate this, normally on average in the 5 games they played before that, they were 4,000 gold up at 20 minutes. Now they were only down 818 gold versus Rocket at 20, which is not even 1K. But the way they played off of that was just really, really telling. They hadn't played from from behind in the LCS yet, and they kept funneling into these positions that they shouldn't, taking fights they shouldn't in choke points versus a Rumble or versus an Azir, and Rocket was just able to completely roll over them. I do feel like for Origen, it's a good thing that this happened before their matchup versus Fnatic, and at least they can learn from their mistakes and learn from playing from behind.
That's an interesting take, and hopefully they do have enough time before they face Fnatic to shore up those problems. But let's bring Fnatic into the mix now and talk about this matchup.
Yeah, well, obviously, Fnatic versus Origen, there is a bit, or I should say a lot of history there, because Xpeke and Soaz, who were members of Fnatic for so long, Xpeke left, built his own team in Origen, only Yellowstar was left, and now Reckless, of course, in Fnatic as well. And now these two teams are fighting each other for the top of the tables in the European LCS. What I know for sure is that it is going to be a very aggressive early game. Both D teams have shown to be very, very feisty when it comes to the early game. As an illustration, Fnatic up to now has had 27 kills and 19 deaths in the early game before 15 minutes. Origen is up there with 24 kills and 12 deaths. So if there's anything that's going to happen, it's going to be bloody, and I hope it happens as well. If we look at this matchup lane to lane, every single lane has an incredibly interesting story and just has a lot to look at. We start at the top lane. Soaz versus Huni. Soaz, for a long time, regarded as one of the best top laners in EU, but now Huni has taken that spot. He has shown a lot of champion diversity. There is some overlap there with Soaz in the Rumble, in the Hecarim, but it will be very interesting to see what he goes for. Will Huni be up there and step up and carry, or will they play more team play oriented or counter pick like they did with the Cho'Gath versus the Ryze? A lot of that will depend on the jungle matchup as well. Amazing versus Reignover. Reignover and Huni is one of the best top laner jungle combos, in my opinion, we've seen in Europe in a very, very long time, and Reignover is always there to help that top lane and the rest of the lanes. But on the other hand, Amazing has also shown to be very, very aggressive in the early game for OG. So I'd love to see how that plays out. And then moving on to the mid lane, Xpeke versus Febiven, the Fallen King versus the Prince, the heir to the throne. If you look at both of their playstyles, actually, they have been going for champions like Cassio, like Orianna for Xpeke, like Azir for Febiven, that haven't really been that explosive. But when it comes to the numbers in the early game, Febiven has definitely been more active. 5, 6, and 3 so far before 15 minutes, and Xpeke only 2, 1, and 1. So we'll have to see what they decide to do if Xpeke decides to be a little more aggressive in the early game, also coming off that loss from Rocket, and what happens. Then turning to the bottom lane, what an interesting matchup we have there. Niels versus Reckless. Niels, our week 1 MVP, exploding onto the European LCS. A fantastic thing we saw in his second game of the split. Up versus Reckless, who has, of course, returned to Fnatic after his stint on Alliance and Elements, and well, is now looking to show his true talent, because he's always been looked at as that fantastic AD carry in Europe. But now there's Niels there in the opposite lane against from him, who has been putting up fantastic numbers, and they wouldn't be anything without, of course, their support. Mithy on the side of Origen has been showing immense mechanical prowess and shot calling, but if you talk about shot calling and decision making, there's Yellowstar on the other side for Fnatic, who has stuck with that team, has stuck with that organization, and built it back from the ground up. So there are just a ton of interesting storylines to follow here.
An amazing rundown of the lane, Shax. Thank you so much. Now, with all this in mind, how do you see it playing out?
Well, I think Fnatic's going to take it, Riv.
Fair enough. All right, Shax, thank you for joining us. We look forward to that game tomorrow.
Yeah, Riv, I definitely can't wait. Fnatic versus Origen. I wish it was right now. I'm so excited.
All right, now let's find out what it means to talk like a pro. It's time for Mic Check.
No regrets, baby.
No regrets, baby.
Get a win.
I didn't get LeBlanc, though.
Yeah. GG.
Full regret.
I'm not here to appease Reddit. I'm here to get wins.
Oh, yeah, baby.
I'm here to...
History facts.
I'm here for Reddit.
They said if you're gonna take off your shoes, you need to put them on before you go and shake hands.
We can take it to the next level, Sven, and play without pants.
No, you're not allowed. Oh, you need to take on pants before, like when you're hitting the Nexus. Oh shit, get them on.
Meditating does help. Just sit back and just close your eyes, and just feel nothing. Just feel nothingness, bunny.
You're too loud, dude. Shut up.
They're doing it. Go, fight. We need to go for the win.
I stun. Finish. She's dead. Got pick the victor. Nice.
Next side. End the game after.
Oh shit.
Get it, Swagger. I got him.
Yeah, get him.
Push mid.
Yeah, end the game.
Good job, guys.
But we'll win because we're better.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, we'll wait.
They are
we're
kind of
better.
first place and beat TSM yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, the diamond
Careful mid, careful mid.
I'm okay.
I'm coming mid.
Coming.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
my
wow,
god,
really?
nice. Good job,
Wow,
Danny.
nice.
I have a Cloud Neon keyboard and Chrome's mouse.
That means you're ultimate jungler.
Yeah.
Now you are god.
Yo.
And we're only down 1 kill.
I'm clean. Pink here.
They have words on me, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah! Nice shot. Good job.
Nice.
Phoenix, cut! Good job,
Alright,
good
let's
job.
keep focus. Keep focus.
Yep, keep focus.
X-Patcher. Hello. X-Patcher.
X-Patcher.
Hi.
X-Patcher.
What's happening?
I don't know.
Well, that was especially fun. Let's turn to something a little bit more serious, though. China's LPL, and it's where Invictus Gaming aim to stay at the top of the table when they face down LGD. These are two of the very best teams in the spring split. They're certainly two of the very best in the summer as well. Star-studded lineups.
All right, let's kick it off in the top lane then. Imp has some work to do.
Defending world champion Imp gets a bunch of guys helping him tower dive. First, they go for level 3 jungler Cacao. He goes down. TBQ takes the exact right number of turret shots. Then it's Acorn's turn. Kites away. 1 turret shot away from dying. All right. Good start.
Great juggling, great jumping. Let's do it again.
It's like a circus.
PYL.
Summoner heal flash. TBQ takes, again, the right number of shots. PYL, unfortunately, lets a jungler die. But Imp gets the kill.
Hey, he missed his Q, hit a minion. He deserves to go down for that.
All right, 3-0 Imp. The game is actually 4-4, so it's entirely Imp who's carrying this roster here of LGD, but it just keeps going better. There's his 4th kill. Cacao forced to run away.
All right, that's pretty much the whole story of that game. Imp went off.
Imp on Tristana, great game LGD. Let's go into game 2, though. And Invictus looking to fight back. And this game overall is absolutely incredible. It's Yasuo versus Ekko in the mid lane, and it's amazing to watch.
Yeah, not only the team fights, but you need to go back and watch this entire game. It was so exciting. Really great display of skill, as seen here. Rookie versus Godv in the duel.
Godv dodges the stun, and a nice ult from Rookie dodges the knockup, so there's still no Yasuo ult used yet. Rookie goes in, exhaust wind wall here, blocks the back half of Q, and then just gets the shield in time, and TBQ wins in the fight.
Yeah, didn't matter that he missed his knockup there because Rek'Sai is here to save him, gets the ultimate, all planned.
That's how you win duels. You bring in another person. TSM knows about this one. And again, the engage comes back in all over everywhere in the Dragon fight. Rookie ults back to the back line, then goes once again for the 80 carries, and just everyone keeps dying back and forth.
Godv here, he's going to be the last man left after the pit here, though. Gonna run away. They take out PYL, and this is where he gets full credit back.
Sweeps the ward, can't hit him, jumps over. Aurelia will not land a single ult the entire time. Shield comes back up, knock-up kill. Godv, beautiful 1v2.
My goodness. Whew, the wind wall and dodging one of the Aurelia ults, so good. All right, here we go. The game continues. Such a close one.
We have to do the fights and fast forward because they're so hectic and everyone keeps dying back and forth, but mid laners get kills to start things out. Rookie now on the run, but able to dive back in, use the shield, get a whole lot more damage done, and Invictus Gaming, off the back of Rookie's Ekko, just start killing everybody.
Yeah, what a beautiful game. Sad that it's over, but they are not, so gonna take home the victory there.
And we have someone on hand who couldn't stop talking about that last match, Julian Pastry Time Car. How you doing, man?
I'm excellent, freaking Kobe. How are you?
We're absolutely great.
All right, Pastry, we've been talking about this game. Take us a little bit deeper into it.
All right, so let's just talk a little bit about mid laners in the LPL. Everyone knows about Pon and how good he is. And, you know, there's plenty of other good players sort of hanging out there as well. But we look at Godv and Rookie specifically, quite probably the 2 best mid laners in the LPL. One's Chinese, he plays for LGD, that's Godv. And, of course, the Korean superstar, formerly of KTRs, that's Rookie there as well. Rookie is mechanically brilliant, a massive lane bully, really likes to get aggressive in his lane, and of course, mechanically proficient. Godv, very similar sort of player, has kind of been known to style on people here and there, but he's just got aggression when he wants it, but he's very calculated and very precise. So, lo and behold, somebody locks in Ekko for the first time. It's IG's first pick to give it over to Rookie, and Godv thinks about it for a little bit, goes back and forth, and decides his counter pick is Yasuo. Now, these 2 champions, I'm sure you can imagine, really mechanically intensive, lots of really hard decisions to make, and what happened in this game between the 2 was just cataclysmic. Like, both teams played excellently, don't get me wrong. It was a super hype, 40-minute long, high execution, really, really close match of League of Legends, which is why it was so good. But these 2 mid laners literally went at it just for so long. The first duel in the mid lane was ridiculous, only just ending with a Godv victory based on TBQ coming in at just the last second. But if you go back and watch that, you see passives being dodged, you see Q's tornadoes being dodged by Chrono Break, you see like just so much interaction between these two teams. So that 1v1 duel was already pretty crazy. To top it off, Kakao manages to steal a dragon to start the next fight, which eventually leads to IG snowballing up the dragons and actually winning the game towards the end of it. And despite the fact that LGD are losing that team fight horribly, Godv somehow finds it in himself to literally 1v2 towards the end of the fight with just some of the most insane mechanics I've ever seen. He's win-walling time winders. He's denying vision using a sweeper that we only caught in the replay of the fight. That's how insane it was. Like, every team fight was off the wall. The duels between Ekko and Yasuo are awesome. I never thought I'd see two champions just go at it and be so much fun to watch. It was like Dragon Ball Z levels worth of epic as far as their 1v1 then. Just everything that happened in the game was awesome. Both teams played great. It's one of the best league I've ever seen them play, and for me, it was my favorite match at this point that I've ever seen, usurping even the Heimerdinger jungle game, which took a long, long time, but finally found a game that did it. The game, if you haven't seen it, just go watch it. It's awesome.
Well, it's good to see that someone could top the Donger. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll be watching the games later this week.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
No worries. Thank you very much, freaking Kirby. I'll talk to you later.
And of course, we've got more Chinese LPL. After that series, Invictus hoped to tie Edward Gaming in first place, even with the 1-1 score, but OMG had plans of their own. And finally, OMG actually looked good. These guys were so hyped beginning of the year. They picked up Uzi. They're going to be amazing. This time they changed up the roster, and Uzi finally does look good.
Yeah, speaking of Uzi, he's on Sivir, but amazing. It's a duo lane here, and Amazing's able to set him up all game long.
Turn it to trio lane, flash in by Jue, and thank you very much.
All right, that's going to be the good start to there for Uzi, and he does not stop. Pop the ultimate and chase down Rise.
They even gave Zatai Rise, exactly. These guys still win the game. Another kill picked up, 7-1. Uzi's in another fight. All right, Rookie died too. Mid lane, Riven not going the hottest, and a 20-minute surrender. OMG take game 1.
Oof, so many stuns and knockups to set him up. All right, game number 2. They get a lot of the same picks. They got Sivir again, they got Maokai again, they got Rek'Sai again. A lot closer of a game, though.
Yeah, Zatai tries to be as tanky as possible. It's actually pretty close coming into this fight, but still easy to pick up. Xiang becoming the top laner for this team. Starts the game out well.
All right, going to be a similar story up on the top side. Trundle all by himself. Does take a long time to go down, though. A lot of Hydra sustain.
Yeah, really, really tanky, man. Just keeps hitting minions, keeps siphoning off stats, but eventually Uzi on Sivir does have to pick him off.
All right, so that's going to be another one for him. Down bottom, after they've gotten Baron, the siege begins.
Yeah, 9,000 gold lead, 35 minutes in, and OMG actually play it pretty resilient. A Shockwave buys some time in the back line, but no one really overstays. The turret aggro's juggled pretty well. Xiang even survives in the back. Survives in the backside of that one. And Kid just gets wrecked by Sai and Cool.
Oh, yep, and they'll be able to finish it out after that. So OMG able to pick up
a 2-0. Over Invictus, very impressive. Speaking of impressive, Edward Gaming, #1 team in the world versus Unlimited Potential, the very bottom team in the LPL.
Let's talk about surprising games here. Definitely the underdog coming into this one. Unlimited Potential. And here goes EDG. Pawn's going to start it off, but gets hit with the reverse.
Yeah, and Scatch on 80 carry Urgot actually does some pretty good cleanup on the backside. Plenty of damage being dealt. Mako goes down thanks to Loong on this Hecarim, and there's just no pickups left available. So, okay, pretty decent early start. Now 8-4 in kills. Unlimited Potential still down in gold, by the way. But Def can't really go very far.
Yeah, Loong all over him. Just sets him right up there for Ekko. And he's going to find that last hit as well for Hecarim.
9-4 in kills. Now it's 15-8. Another dive, and it just seems like these guys can always disrupt the back line and start picking up kills with all the damage these guys have.
Yeah, just charge right in here, tanking turrets, and they're going to finish off Mako as well.
Really impressed by the Ekko. He just sits there holding turret dagger for the rest of the dive to happen, then backs out when all the champions are done. So somehow, game 1 got won by UP.
Yeah.
What's game 2?
They took a game off the #1 team here. Oh, Fnatic Rush. They're going to surprise Koro. Yes, he was able to take away Hecarim, but not quite the same effect.
Now, Heart gets thrown in by Callista and helps him make that start well. Pawn can only cleanse and run away, try to survive as best he can. UP up 3,000 gold, and they find just more engages. Punish trying to run away. He will get killed for this one, but there will be some counterattack.
Yeah, look at this juggling and the control of Koro right here. All of UP are going to give him distance until Twist Advance comes back up, goes right back in at the perfect opportunity.
And look at Sketch. 10, 1, and 9 on Kalista. Make that 11, 1, and 9 on Kalista. The double lifesteal Hurricane, hard carry Kalista. What an amazing 2-0 bottom over the top.
Definitely very impressive performance and an upset.
Absolutely. Now, after 4 weeks of games, here's what the LPL standings look like. Despite getting swept up, Edward Gaming remains at the top with 16 points, but QG and Invictus are right behind them.
Meanwhile, OMG and Snake round out the top 5 with teams from Royal on down looking to move upwards.
And let's head straight from China to the LMS, where a rematch of the spring playoff finals took place between an unbeaten AHQ Esports club and the Flash Wolves, looking to get a little bit of revenge. AHQ now unbeaten on a 6-series win streak, so the Flash Wolves really wanted this one. Actually subbing in MMD for Stake within this game 1, and it did not help in the beginning. Maple did have to come up, repair a few things in the top lane. Karsa would also be there for the help, but Flash Wolves were able to actually turn this play out very nicely for themselves. First Dragon actually came right before this for them. Second Dragon came as a result of that play, but AHQ had something on their plate. They knew what they wanted, and they would focus to sub MMD. Like I said, in for Stake, he would kind of be a factor of AHQ to get back into this game. You see once again, Righteous Glory, Mountain comes in right onto MMD once again, and some heck of a lot of lockdown coming in from AHQ there. They take him out. Maple trying to make plays now, but he himself gets outplayed in the top lane. The man in the mid cannot bring Flash Wolves back into the game. Outplayed here by Albus and Ann as he tries to use the Shadow to get back in for the kill, resulting in just too much of a lead. 13-5 now, 39 minutes in. Ziv 100 more CS in the top lane coming out of that game, and they were just able to completely take it over. Flash Wolves would try as they may coming into game 2 here. On to Maple, the first strike. They do keep him alive. Looks good for them in the beginning. This might be the game. Maple once again getting carried in. Stake, however, now back in for MMD, is a bit of the focus for AHQ to get back into this one. A misstep there by him as he gets hooked by Albus, and AHQ, as good as they are in skirmishes, are able to come up with more kills, one after the other here, right on the second tier turret in the top lane, and Flash Wolves are now on the back heel. As Flash Wolves was getting dragons with their good kills last game, AHQ is picking up all the dragons this game, making the pushes even stronger and the comeback even harder for the Flash Wolves. Sword out, even with Unbreakable Will, gets crowd controlled to death here, and you can just see how strong the composition was from AHQ coming in to bring out the 2-0 and stay undefeated in the LMS. After 4 weeks of matches and 2 more this morning, here's a look at the current standings in the LMS. With a sweep of the Taipei Assassins earlier today, AHQ remains the only undefeated LMS squad, and they own first place. They also have a 10-point lead over the Flash Wolves as the rest of the team struggle to find their game this split. Now let's turn our attention back to the European LCS for a minute, where the 3-2 Unicorns of Love hope to turn things around against second place, 4-1 H2K. Unicorns of Love bringing out Ekko in the jungle. Kikis always with his ridiculous picks in that position. Let's see if that helps him out this game. It would be H2K starting things off early, already 3-1. 9 minutes in, and it looks like Power of Evil could actually pull off a play there for himself, but too quickly taken down. And Ryu on that Lulu, always quite a big focus for H2K, getting him fed. Not too many teams have good results with this. Here they flounder in the mid lane, back and forth. H2K have lost their mid, but a triple kill here coming up for Ryu as he gets another help picks Glitterlands, and a quadra kill for Ryu's Lulu in the mid lane. You don't see that very often. This guy, still the same smile on his face as always. 11-2 now, second place H2K, going even harder on Power of Evil as Hjarnen's able to pick up the Mega Death Rocket kill. It was a quick highlight, and it was a quick 38-minute game as H2K were able to take out Unicorns of Love.
And that final match in Europe provided our 5th Ekko pick of the week for the EU LCS. Now, guys, remember, we asked you last week to tell us how many total Ekko picks would there be in the LCS. That answer was 10, 5 in Europe, 5 in North America this weekend. Now, 5 of you got that answer correct, so congratulations to the winners who guessed that there would, in fact, be 10 Ekko picks this week in the LCS. And we also had a bonus question to get into the PTL Hall of Fame. That was how many kills would Ekko get this week in the LCS? That answer was actually 47. Unfortunately, none of you guys got that answer right, so apologies. No new Hall of Fame members this week. That's okay, though. Let's talk about Ekko a little bit more. In his 10 games in the LCS this week, we got to see just how he performed. He was 2-0 in the top lane, 1-2 in the jungle, and 1-4 in the mid lane, despite a monstrous 4.5 KDA. Just unfortunate they didn't win those games after all. But, top laners 2-0. Maybe you guys want to add him to your pool. Anyway, speaking of mid laners, earlier we heard Faker say that any champion in the game is viable in the mid lane, and that got us thinking, and in turn, it made us want to ask you guys, what champion do you want to see Faker play in the mid lane next week? If we really like your answer, we'll put it up in the show, and maybe if it's really good and it's really special, we'll put it in the PTO Hall of Fame as well.
You know, I'd like to see Faker go back to, if he has played at a mid-Kennen, maybe not in professional, but I'm sure he could. See? It's a good pick. It's a good pick. Let's bring it home now to North American LCS. Taking a look at the matchup between 3-1 Team Solo Mid and 3-1 Dignitas featuring Bjergsen on Ekko. Not too many people were faring too well on the champion, but still were able to make some plays.
Yeah, they're still working out the kinks on him. Bjergsen did have a pretty good start to this game. Lustboy, not so much.
Going through the wall, trying to be tricky over Raptor Camp, but Shifter uses everything in his belt to get out of that one, and First Blood, which helped a lot in this game.
Lustboy takes that magical journey straight to the afterlife. Here comes the Baron, though. Dignitas are able to get it, but TSM chase him out.
Chase him out. Gamsu, a sliver of health here as he walks away from this fight alive. Dignitas, this is usually where things go really wrong for them, but they were actually able to coordinate this Baron very well.
Yeah, Barons were actually the thing keeping Dignitas in this game. Here's another thing keeping them in the game. Decisive shot call, pop the Sivir ultimate, and chase TSM.
Oh, Tempered Fate may have been more helpful to WildTurtle as he splits from the team here. This allows Dignitas to start cleaning up.
Yeah, then Bjergsen goes in by himself, then Dyrus goes in by himself. One by one, all the carries from TSM each go down, and Dignitas are going to take that straight up the middle.
Dignitas just saying, take a ticket, please. We'll get you next. They're able to get on the Nexus in just about 40 minutes, 16-14. As you can see, that game was still pretty close on the edge. Two more teams that were battling it out at the top of the North American table were Gravity and Counter Logic Gaming, both looking for a spot at first place. Gravity coming in 3-1, CLG 3-1 as well. Somebody's got to get knocked down here. We start things off towards the top lane, and Aframu coming up big on the Bard.
Oh yeah, we start things off really early. Even though Gravity had the positioning, CLG had extra levels on them, and with Aframu's clear calls, they turn this one around. CLG off to a really big early lead here.
Cosmic plays coming in from the Afro man himself. Now to the bottom lane, Haunter again getting focused. An arrow to the backside, and he's done for.
Yeah, at this point, CLG took their early lead, and they were able to take control of the entire map.
Gravity here kind of going for broke. Bunny Fufu actually goes back into this fight after the fact, and it looked like Gravity was okay, able to stave it off, and they just kept losing more.
Gravity kept trying to fight back, but too big of a gold deficit. They weren't able to make it work in the end. Valiant effort, though.
Counter Logic Gaming staying to their old ways now, keeping the rotations going, picking off teams when they can, and coming up with wins all around the board. Continuing the dog pile in the top of the standings, Team Impulse looked to play spoiler to Liquid's first place run and drag them into the middle of the table. Would it be possible? 3-2 Impulse versus a 4-1 Team Liquid.
Oh man, yeah, Team Liquid are on fire at the beginning of this split. Quas also on fire as he gets burned up.
Doing what he can to stay alive in this one. Impulse continuing to have a bit of a lead. Quas wants to get a ward out to stay safe, saying, I think it's still dangerous up here. He was right.
Still on fire, and he goes down again. Here's the bottom move, though. Rush is able to get the kill. However, Lee Sin pretty deep. Can he escape? Quas says negative. The onslaught of shadows. The shadows cake him out in the end.
Here we go, Xiao Wei Xiao, a little bit of misfocus here. Impulse wanting to find the fights a little too much. They left their carry behind.
Piglet's able to hop away, and Adrian tries to do the same, but short hop, not able to get the distance.
A very short hop. And after taking down Team Solo Mid, one more win would send Dignitas into a three-way tie for first place, somewhere they haven't been for nearly a year. But a win for Gravity would keep both teams tied for second. Coming to this dig 4-1 versus the 3-2 Gravity. Dignitas now with more Helios.
Oh, and now with more ill-advised dives. Just walking around, wandering under the turret here, all level 5, and they just get taken apart.
It could be something that happens when you change the jungler communication. Yeah, the game looked good against Team Solo Mid, but Gravity knew where to pinch, and they were hitting all the right places.
Yeah, that dive worked out. All calculated there by Bunny Fufu. Even though he missed the hook, took a bit of damage, nobody goes down. And, you know, after that turnaround dive and a successful dive bottom, oh, man, that's beautiful.
Keen coming flying through on this one with the Cataclysm and flag and drag from the backside. Dignitas thought they had the engage, but they got counter-flanked. It was just not looking good for them this game. Gravity had the edge, they had the Nexus in just 35 minutes. One of the faster games on the week.
Yeah, really solid gameplay there from Gravity to close that one out.
They've been showing great with their new changes. With 3 weeks in the books for the NALCS, here are the current standings. CLG and Liquid are locked in a tie for first place at 5-1.
And Gravity, Dignitas, and TSM are all tied up for third place.
And if you want to strike out for adventure and join your fellow LCS fans for the NALCS games this week, you can.
Viewing parties are happening across the country, from Seattle to Georgia, so head over to loesports.com/VP for more information about attending or hosting a party of your own. Okay, everyone, let's head over to the League Laboratory and take a look at things by the numbers. Today, we want to look at the reaction time that WildTurtle had on that Kalista game, dodging the flash ult from Malphite that Smoothie was playing.
Even if they have WildTurtle down here in the bottom lane. Whoa!
What a reaction time. Holy crap.
So we had the observers go back over the footage frame by frame, and they found that WildTurtle's reaction time in that play was 0.34 seconds. Now I want to give you a little perspective on that. A batter in the major leagues has only 0.38 seconds to react to a 100-mile-an-hour fastball after it leaves the pitcher's hand. And it takes a 150-mile-an-hour tennis ball serve 0.35 seconds to reach the other side of the court. Plus, the time that it takes for an average human to blink is between 0.3 and 0.4 seconds. So if you blink during that play, then you missed it. Now, there are a couple of things that you can do to make reactions like this easier to pull off. One thing that WildTurtle is constantly thinking about are possible moves that his opponents can take. Now, from the moment that Malphite enters the brush, he's thinking this guy's going to ult me, and he's expecting to flash it. So he's already decided on what his response will be, and he doesn't have to take time after he sees the visual cue to decide what it will be. Now, when we perform experiments, we call things like this a simple reaction because it is considered to be predefined. So always think about the possible moves that your opponents can take, and that can actually speed up your reactions. Now, the other thing that you can do is turn up your sound, because auditory cues are actually processed quicker than visual ones. Because the conversion from a photon hitting your eye to a bioelectric stimuli takes a lot longer than the conversion of a pressure wave hitting the hair follicles in your ear to a bioelectric stimulus. Now, this may be contrary to popular belief because everybody knows that sound travels much slower than light through air. But since you're sitting so close to the source of the signals, the travel time is insignificant compared to the extra processing time of the chemical reactions involved in processing a visual cue. You would have to sit like 25 to 30 meters away from your computer for that to actually even out. So I would definitely say, after looking at the numbers, that WildTurtle deserves credit for his reaction time. Very impressive.
Now it's time to check in on PrimeTime League's Fantasy League of Legends Legendary League and see how I'm doing. As you can see, I crushed Chandler last week, and as you can see, 95% of you were also with me in this one, so thank you very much for remaining faithful in light of the zombie apocalypse. Now, rounding out last week's action in the league, Mark Merrill took down Gordon Hayward, the Dragons narrowly lost a quick shot, and Rick Fox trounced Dante Basco. Looking ahead to the matchups this week, either the Dragons or Gordon Hayward will get their first win. Rick Fox faces down Chandler Riggs, and Dante Basco and Quickshot will do battle to see who has the better hair. It's obviously me. Now, the head-to-head of the week, though, features myself naturally, and I'm going up against Mark Merrill in a battle of undefeated teams. So, you know, GG. Congrats on your win, Mark. You'll have the trophy at the end of the season, etc., etc. No, but seriously, I'm not throwing for anybody. So if you think that I can win and somehow keep my job, tweet #FreakWin. Or if you think one of the founders of the company can take it down, then tweet #MarkWin, and that is Mark with a C. Now, while you tweet your predictions, let's turn to the Fantasy LCS and help you get your rosters ready for this week. Up first, we've got the studs, and Hjarnan, he's the brain. He was the studliest of them all, earned 80.7 points for the week. H2K, of course, crushed. They've got 4 straight wins. CLG Doublelift was right behind him with 74.4, and by the way, Doublelift is the highest earning player in fantasy period right now across all the weeks. Finally, Bjergsen rounds out the top 3, 64 points for him, and even though TSM went 1-1, Bjergsen continues to put up absolutely great numbers. Obviously, you're going to keep playing this guy. Now, on the flip side, there are the duds. Now, the Unicorns lost twice last week, and so Vardogs is the guy who hurt the most. The ouch column, 3.8 points for him per game. Pretty rough. Now, despite Dignitas doing fairly well, Core JJ was lagging behind, averaging only 11.6 points, and Elements have now lost 5 games in a row. Their last 2 losses from this last week saw Froggen only finish with 11.8 points per game. Not great stuff. Now it's time for the alert horn. It is sounding for these players, so continue to take immediate action when we give you these warnings. Slushie is taking a leave of absence from Team 8. Golden Glue stepping in. If you have faith in Team 8, maybe play Golden Glue, but definitely don't play Slushie. He wasn't even doing very well in the first place, so whatever. Next up, Rocket is looking to continue improving, but they're benching Woolite. He's gone. Mr. Rawlins is in, so even though Rocket's a good team, this player is going to score you 0 points. So, Mr. Rawlins, if you want it at all. Next up, Copenhagen Wolves. They have been struggling. I know I pimped them out a lot early on, but they are 2-4 so far this split, and they play H2K and Fnatic. This is not going to go well for Copenhagen Wolves unless they pull off miracle wins. If you believe in miracles and fine, otherwise, probably bench these guys. Next up, we've got Sleepers who we should awaken this week. First up, all of Rocket, every single member, including Mr. Rawlins. These guys are in the exact opposite situation of Copenhagen Wolves. They're 2-4, but they play Elements and SK Gaming. In 2014, that'd be scary. 2015, it's a cakewalk, a lot of points likely. Next up, Inox, the mid laner of Enemy Esports. Even though they went 0-2, he was the 7th highest scoring mid laner across both LCSs. Pretty incredible. Also, Otter, 6th highest AD carry. Really awesome. Enemy Esports overall plays 40-minute long games on average, and these two guys kind of carry all their points. I wouldn't recommend the rest of any esports. The other players aren't putting up the same kind of point totals, but these two guys actually make a fair bit of sense. They play Cloud9 and Impulse this week, which means they're likely to pick up 1, maybe even 2 wins here, and it's not looking too bad for these two. So smooth out your lineups with these notes in mind, and hopefully your own game will improve. If it doesn't, just remember it's all a fantasy.
We've gathered up the top plays from around the world and mashed them together for you in an easy-to-digest format.
So prepare to be amazed in what Smeb's Ribbon can now call the Penta.
In a quick flash, WildTurtle dodges the unstoppable force in our number 5 play. Whoa! What a reaction time. Holy crap. Jeez. Rumbling in at number 4, Shy's enemies went up in flames in this 1v2.
Down the ultimate as well. Shy drops that equalizer. Mar getting very low. Barely gets out of that flame spitter. Can Shy finish him off? The shield is not quite enough. And it looks like Bengi's going to clean this one up, but Shy able to grab himself. Oh boy. Whoa! Shy with the 1v2.
At number 3, Rookie and Godv's duel took our last breath away.
Parallel convergence goes down. Timewinder hits in there as well. Godby needs to wait, but the Chrono Break dodges the tornado. Rookie now going to dive back in, but Rookie
what is happening?
Godby coming through. Timewinder gets cancelled. Glenn's flash there. Godby still alive. Ulti there from Team EQ.
Ridiculous. How do we even comment on this 1v1? Because it lasts so long. You can see 2 stacks on the tornado knocked up now by Yasuo. Actually dodges it with the ultimate. Turns back around, uses the dash to get in. The passive just ran out there from Ekko though. Big factor in this 1v1. The wind wall stopping the second half of that Q. Massive save.
Oh my god.
But at the same time, the Rek'Sai knockup giving Yasuo the ultimate.
Dashing in at number 2, Smeb's top lane Riven picks up the first pentakill of LCK Summer. And Godv is back at number 1 because he's a god.
Yasuo gets the knock, the wind rolls down, gets the kill, drinks out the tie, gets his flow back, and kills the tie, somehow gets the double.
Unbelievable. He gets that second ultimate, uses the sweeper, denies vision, knocks him up, gets the auto attack into crit, dashes through the wind wall as he places it down a second time. And he has the shield, gets the knock up. So much work there from Godby.
Really amazing stuff there. Next level sweeper plays coming out of the LPL.
Godby indeed.
You have it right there. As always, we love it when you help identify your favorite big plays from the pros.
When you see a moment worthy of being included here, tag it with #ThePenta and send it to us at LOL Esports.
That's right. And it looks like we're finally at the end of this episode. Thank you for joining us, and everybody...
Not so fast, Kimosabe. Before we leave, Kiwi Kid shows us how to nail Flash Tibbers in our last hit.
Dignitas, the question is, how do you get yourselves back into the game where you're so far behind, aside from just waiting for Azir to power up?
I'm going to say they need to make a flash play from Kiwi Kid. That's what Dignitas always turn to in their times of need. They really need a big play from Annie. And this is the type of character that Kiwi Kid loves because it's a game-changing character. He can turn the tides of an entire game by landing a multi-man stun.
Oh, there's the... What?
Not the play I was looking for.
What?
He sees saw a ghost. Hello?